Welcome. This is a short video presentation of Olive, my inclusively designed, responsive web app that provides health and wellness information as well as a way for users to store their health and medical information and appointments. Hi, my name is Thomas. Olive was developed as a training exercise for my UX immersion course by Career Foundry on a path to a career change into UX design. The challenge was to develop a responsive web app that would allow health-conscious individuals to log into a responsive health and well-being portal to record their health and medical information and access general physical and mental well-being features. My first attempt to define the problem came out with the following statement. Users need a way to stay on top of health and wellness issues because they struggle to balance health, wellness, work and life challenges, and create and maintain healthy living habits. Preliminary competitive analysis revealed a very turbulent competitive environment with hundreds, if not thousands, of similar apps competing for users' attention. This, of course, provided both an opportunity and a threat. On the one hand, an almost unlimited variety and a multitude of ready-made offerings to analyze, compare, and try to surpass. On the other hand, one could easily get overwhelmed by the sheer volume of competitive offerings and be at a loss to identify the unique selling point that would allow the app to shine and rise above others, making it business viable. Any design solution needs to balance three at a time conflicting interests. The human need to solve a problem, the business that will set things in motion on the promise of financial gain, and the technology available to transform design into product. To state the project for the business, I set out smart objectives that define the key deliverables determining if and when the project has reached successful completion. Furthermore, to provide temporal gravity, I set out a detailed delivery timeline outlining the date each significant milestone needed to be completed by. When I initially set out the project, I was mildly intimidated by its user research aspects. As it turned out, however, I found, much to my surprise, that interacting with users during the initial exploratory research was a rewarding and highly educational experience, one that I immediately started to look forward to repeating in the future. I was fascinated by the intimate access the interviewees allowed me into their thoughts, behaviors, pain points, and needs. It was a privilege to learn from them, and the quotes I gleaned during research still echo strong into my mind today. This makes user research a strong candidate for a possible career focus. Equipped with a wealth of data they have entrusted with me, I used affinity mapping to transform it into information and insights. The most important takes in were, apart from the obvious need everyone expressed of using an app that is fast, simple, and intuitive, that everyone felt intimidated and excluded by apps that seemed to be designed only for athletic high achievers, rather than ordinary, everyday people in need of a way to keep healthy. All interviewees were aiming to address a specific health problem in using the app. All interviewees reported an established physical and mental health ritual and were in need of an app that would assist them in promoting these or discover new ones. Finally, all were aware of the importance of security of personal information in the app, but admitted of being security illiterate. And despite understanding the significance of safeguarding personal sphere, none were worried about sharing name and email and making it publicly accessible. These insights resulted in the formation of two user personas, Fiona and Missy. I will now turn you over to an AI-assisted video recording of Fiona introducing her persona.
Thank you, Thomas. My name is Fiona. One of the two user personas Thomas developed through his research for Olive, a responsive health and wellness web app. Let me introduce myself. I am a city planner and university graduate. I recognize in me a self-confident professional that aspires to making every day count. I had to take medical leave recently to deal with a chronic pain condition. I need an app to help manage my chronic pain problems, to track my calorie and vitamin intake, provide assistance with not overeating, and an easy way to keep a record of my blood panel results. I use meditation to start off my day, enjoy going to the gym and eating healthy. Working from home on personal projects and making a difference is what motivates me the most. I am frustrated at being excluded for being vegan, getting lost in apps that offer too many options, and apps that are being paywalled. I am kind of the opinion that instead of trying to have the best week ever or the best year ever, I am just going to nail my day, and so every day. Thank you for watching!
Thank you, Fiona. The goals and needs, the motivations and frustrations of Fiona and Missy help perform task analysis of the principal tasks they needed to perform to achieve objectives in using the app, following by the corresponding user flows. Figuring out how to organize information in a sensible and intuitive manner involved an open card sorting exercise exposing 10 participants to 20 tasks. They were kind enough to categorize these into no less than 51 categories. Having so many participants suggesting so many categories made figuring out a pattern in the data quite challenging, as participants provided quite inconsistent results. I first used Optimal Sort Similarity Matrix tool, which funneled the categories down to 21. However, clear patterns were still hard to make out. A more useful analysis tool was the best merged dendrogram tree diagram that better suits studies with fewer participants, such as mine. Here, a clearer picture emerged, in the form of a sideways growing tree, bringing down the number of top-level categories to just 4. Using rapid prototyping, I quickly transformed rough hand-drawn sketches into mid-fidelity wireframes that provided a fairly good feel of the information architecture and early visual design of the app. At this point, I wired the wireframes into an initial prototype and exposed it to the users for the first time using a usability test study. The goal of the study was to assess the performance of the app when experienced by 6 participants whilst interacting with the prototype for the first time. They were required to use the app to perform a series of tasks on their own mobile phone and desktop devices. The study was remote and moderated. Participants engaged with the prototype in 30-minute usability test sessions. 3 participants began by testing on mobile and then on desktop device, and 3 first on the desktop device and then on mobile. In designing the study, I established a UX success criteria measurement strategy, carefully choosing the short list of touch points between users and prototype to be monitored. Without a credible UX success criteria measurement strategy, I risked not being able to quantify success or gauge failure over time. I made sure, therefore, to decide what to measure in order to maximize the information gathered and minimize waste of time and resources, design the measurement approach, how I was going to collect the necessary data, made sure that the approach was repeatable. Usability testing should never be considered a one-time effort. We should always be focused on establishing a measurement strategy as opposed to a measurement snapshot, ensuring that we can collect the same metrics time and again on following rounds of research. Only then the current study can act as a benchmark and assist us in deciding whether changes made at future iterations have a positive impact on the usefulness of our design. More than 90 initial observations were prioritized and consolidated down to less than 50. The study identified 8 emerging issues. I chose the most significant 5 based on the frequency of occurrence for review. In addition, I experimented with several versions of the introduction page and with the bottom bar navigation menu on the dashboard. Altogether, I ran 4 preference tests using the preference test tool in usabilityhub.com. Having incorporated the changes suggested by the usability study, I then produced a high fidelity version of the app, applying Gestalt laws and current design principles to further improve the design. Finally, I exposed my prototype to constructive criticism from peers and other designers, and carefully curated all deliverables in an organized manner in preparation for handing off to developers. So here months of hard work, sometimes frustrating, sometimes extremely rewarding, can be summed up in the following words of wisdom. In addition to designing useful and usable products and services, they must also be desirable, accessible, credible, and findable to deliver real value to real people. Without a UX success criteria measurement strategy, we risk not being able to quantify our success or gauge our failure in the future. Without credible UX success measurements, we are unable to align our efforts to any organization's business objectives and desired outcomes. The ultimate goal of design is to build something useful for real human beings. In order to be useful, our designs need to provide the appropriate utility as well as be usable. In other words, features that are sufficiently simple and enjoyable to use. Designing with genuine objectivity and empathy for others in mind is an incredible challenge, as the designers themselves are not immune to their own environment and influences. The only way to validate the usefulness of our design is to test it with real people. Thank you for watching.
Hello, it is good to see you again. I will now guide you through some interview questions that Thomas is going to respond to. Have you ever given feedback on someone else's designs before? Have you received feedback on your own design? How would your teammates describe you professionally? Think of a question you could ask an interviewer. For instance, it could be something about culture, flow, company vibe, or product questions. Can you describe an end-to-end UX design process? How do you balance the goals of the end user with those of the business? I hope you enjoyed this video and thank you for watching.